Hi, it's been a while since I posted on this channel. This is the first time I actually appear on camera for this channel. But since it's 2025 and I'm trying to restart posting art-related and literature-related work here on YouTube, I thought, well, it was a good idea to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the publication of my first book, The Twisted Life of Nikolai Isayev, which is right here. This isn't the first version of this book. If you have ever thought on self-publishing a book or have done it, so you know that sometimes when you have to work with these companies, some of them may work with you and some of them may not work because of your country of origin. And that was the case with this book in particular, because the first version I did it with Ingram Spark, which, as you know, I don't know if they're still in business. I think they are, but for me, they stopped offering services for people living in Panama, which is where I'm based on. So I had to find another company in which I could work for the hardcover, because the softcover, that one I was working with Amazon Kindle. So yeah. This one, I actually, which is one of the many things that that it's interesting about this particular book. It's the fact that I submitted this book for a contest, self-published contest with Writer's Digest. And actually, if you get a copy of my book, you'll see the review from one of the judges. The Twisted Life of Nikolai Isayev by Gerardo.canova is a good book for readers who want to escape into a unique setting, 21st century Imperial Russia, and experience life through the protagonist's eye. A world of wealth and violence awaits those who enjoy a fast-paced, intriguing story. The patient reader will be rewarded with an interesting story. Having said that, what I wanted to do was, at least if you haven't read it or you've been intrigued on what's inside the book and you haven't actually taken the leap of trust and buying it from me, I thought on reading to you guys the first 3 chapters of this book. It may be too long. I don't know if it is going to fit in a very small video, because I don't want this to be 3 hours or 4 hours. So maybe I'll post 1 chapter, and if you want, I will post the other chapters. But I'll probably be posting them on my Patreon, which I'm going to leave the link down below. I also wrote the sequel, which is The Atonement of Nikolai Isayev. So it's a duology. But this is the one that I self-published in 2015. It's coming to a 10-year anniversary this year on 2025. And this one was also self-published, but in 2019, so 4 years later, I finished writing this book, because this one I immediately started writing after I finished this one. So, having said that, let's dive into the chapters. Chapter 1. Lights were lit, and in the darkness, a man's hands fiddled along a young woman's neck, while in the great ballroom, servants placed big blooming white roses centerpieces on several tables, covered with antique white silk lace tablecloths, trying to get things ready before their masters came down from their chambers and their guests arrived. The house looks amazing. One of the ladies in her dark attire placing the silverware said, hypnotized by the exquisite look of the room. Lord Ofsky wouldn't let go the opportunity to make Miss Josephine's engagement the event of the year, another one said while pacing by to a nearby table. Indeed, said a woman with a strict look on her face, dressed in a black gown, spectacles hanging on her chest, and from her waist a trail of keys which belonged to every single door of the manor. The girls kept silent immediately. It was the housekeeper, and they needed to finish their jobs quickly, as only footmen were allowed around the great ballroom when everyone arrived. Everything had to be perfect for that moment. The music started playing as the guests arrived, and as Ernest Ofsky and his wife Johanna Oskiyevna received them with their elegant vestments, Josephine Oskiyevna had her lady's maid finish combing her golden, almost white, locks into a beautiful updo with little pearls that matched exactly the necklace that circled around her long, smooth, and thin neck. The door to her room was slightly open, so I could see her from the hallway. Looking down, feeling defeated, I walked away slowly, hoping nobody would notice me. A fainted sob caught my attention, so I got near the ballroom. I put my ear against the door from where I thought the sounds came from. With every strong note played by the orchestra, a woman's whimper drifted sound puns, while the man's hands pressed carelessly over the small breast of a young woman trapped in the peach corseted bodice with stitched lavender chrysanthemums. We must stop, someone might hear us, the woman whispered in her heated encounter. Grabbing her by the face, the man laid his lips on hers brutally, stopping her from complaining anymore. As he moved his left arm down and pulled up the skirt, with fury he introduced his hand below it, making her shiver in ecstasy. No one will hear you, the strong lover said to her when he paused his scandalous ravaging. I left the lovers behind, stunned to the weird feeling of recognizing both, the woman's voice and probably the man's, but still was hard to tell. Over the wooden floors, the long, colorful gowns twirled and flowed, followed by the dark black shoes of their chaperons. The dim yellow light from the candles all around the place covered the atmosphere with a magical touch. Josephine walked towards the big, long carved wooden stairs, standing at its top edge and looked down at the guests as they enjoyed their night. Coming from the outside porch, with his shiny, dark hair, broad shoulders, strong stride, and impeccable fitted black suit and tie, Ivan Voronov walked through the sea of baffled dancers to the bottom of the stairs. His gray eyes searched Josephine's green ones as he climbed the stairs in the admirable view of the guests. Now, next to him, her delicate figure looked small in her 5-foot slender physique compared to his 6'7" height and his athletic. Joe, he bowed, lowering his torso and offering her his hand. Everybody, Joanna called the attention of the guests with the distinctive sound of a tiny gold bell she kept in her table. Please give a warm welcome to my beloved daughter Josephine and her fiancé, Your Excellency Ivan Voronov, Duke of Peninsula. The crowd went crazy, clapping and cheering for her. She smiled at him as he curtsied graciously and took his hand. Then both stood next to each other before beginning to stroll down every step of the blue carpeted stair, gracefully making curtsies to the guests Josephine Oskiyevna showed off her exquisite emerald green dress with intricate flow with her movements by the hand of Ivan until they reached the center of the whole room. Gently holding her hand, he made her turn around him to finally bow to her as she inclined herself on the mahogany floor, spreading her beautiful dress at its fullest when they were about to begin dancing. Pulling her up close to him by her tiny waist, violins started playing an allegro concert as they started dancing at its rhythm, filling the room with joy. Smiles on Ernest and Joanna's faces grew bigger, while their only daughter was the center of attention of the whole elite. Ivan has been courting her for quite some time now, and finally seems like she has given in to his many charms. The other guests joins them in content, dancing around them, making merrier the already happy party. As I drank some champagne, I could see through the glass a golden bubbling drink. A tall girl with auburn hair walked in the ballroom from one of the doors that led inside the manor. Shaking her peach-colored dress with lavender chrysanthemums, she flicked her hair back while walking towards me and looking down at everyone. "Nikolai Isayev," she said as she stood next to me, "did not know you would dare to attend my precious cousin's engagement party." "It's just an engagement, Paulina. It means nothing," I answered, showing my discomfort for the event. "Indeed, but still it's a big public display and my uncle won't let anything break that oath. Pride and family, as the Ovsky family crest says." She walked behind me, brushing her hands against my shoulders and back as she kept on her way, leaving me behind. Pride and family. The motto of the Ovsky coat of arms kept going around and around in my head, and the thought of my heavenly Josephine giving up her life to that ideal of surrender for her own family's sake made my stomach turn. Sure, I belonged to this world. Sure, I wanted her as much as I hated the fact that she had a duty with her family. I have a duty with mine also, but I also owed myself to me, to my love, to my desire, to please myself. Looking at her smiling at another man was devastating. I know everybody must be looking at me. Most people are sorry for me, and I hate to feel the pity of everyone on my shoulders. I am an Isayev, and an Isayev never surrenders. I looked how Ivan led Josephine towards her table. I feel the need to talk to her. I waved at one of the footmen and asked for paper and pen. "Joe, please don't make a big fuss. I can't wait to hold you once again in my arms. I will go to the library. I'll be waiting for you there. Yours truly, N." I folded the small paper and gave it to the footman with the instructions to be discreet when he delivered it to Miss Ovsky. I stood up from my seat and gave a little walk towards one of the doors. I looked back at Paulina, who was playing with her long pearl necklace while talking to some young man. She noticed my sight on her, and she looked at me with her bright green eyes. She tilted her head in a small bow to myself. She did look beautiful in her fitted peachy dress. The footman lowered himself next to Josephine, handing her my message in a silver plate. Her eyes moved quickly as she read my words, and as the footman walked away, she put her hands holding the note below the table, in the hopes that no one noticed the mysterious paper. I could sense her nervousness as she looked around for me, and once her eyes found mine, a little sadness came through the emerald glow of her almond-shaped eyes. An imperceptible nod of her head meant just for me, agreeing to meet me and I walked away towards the library. Every single second was eternal, and I waited impatiently, looking through the window, hearing the creaking sound of the wood on the fireplace, and smelling the aromas of the leather-bound books and old copies around the whole room. The door handle behind me squeaked, my heart beating faster than before. I hope she's at the door. Jasmine. I smelled her perfume from where I was standing. The door closed, and the sound of her footsteps combined with the dragging of her skirt kissing the mahogany floor filled the silence I was submerged in. Goosebumps went through my neck with his particular electric charge. How many times have I been with her alone? How many times? But tonight was different. Tonight was her engagement, and it meant a lot for me that she accepted to secretly meet me. Even though she knew her parents were against our friendship, I shook my head and went on to turn around and face her, but she stopped me all of a sudden. "Please don't look at me," she says. I stood cold at my place. "Why?" "This has to stop," she said, her voice trembling. A dagger went through my chest, and my jaw dropped while a few tears began to form in my eyes. "How dare you ask me to meet you in private? You have no right to come to my engagement with Ivan and drag me once again into your games. This has to stop." Her voice seemed to break. "I care for you. That's why I can't see you anymore." What? Is she serious? She doesn't want to see me anymore? What about all those love letters I kept as a precious treasure in my vault, in which she corresponded my feelings to her? My nervousness transformed. How dare I ask for her? Heat began to resurface in my skin as the anger in my heart spread and conquered its way through my mind. "You don't want to see me anymore," I said, looking at her reflection on the window. She stood there for a few seconds in silence. She might not have meant what she said, but she wasn't going to back down from that statement. She was a Novsky. She devoted her life to her family and to their state. "Yes, I don't want to see you anymore." Finally, she answered, touching the sapphire brooch I gave her, pinned on her green dress. The twinkle blue light of its brilliance caught my sight in the reflection. Why was she wearing that so fondly if she didn't want to be with me? I turned around and walked fast in her direction, surprising her with my agility, until she was against the door with her head turned to one side, and my hands on both her sides kept her in position. And as my lips almost touched the skin over her right cheek, so sweet scent was her perfume. Goosebumps on her neck and heavy breath revealed to me her anxiety by having me so close to her. So close, we could feel each other's perfume, body heat, and breath. I could stay there staring at her smooth skin, studying every centimeter of it. But I wasn't anymore in love mode. There is a certain amount of love pain a man can overcome, and I'm finally on the edge of my limitations. I chose her a long time ago. I wasn't the right man for her, but I changed for her. I wanted to make her happy. "Tell me you don't love me anymore." I ordered her, more than asking. With her eyes closed in fear, her jaw began to tremble, trying to find the strength to say it out loud. I don't. Look in my eyes and say it, almost yelled, frightening her a little more. She turned her face slowly and opened her eyes, bright green eyes hiding a deep soul full of sadness, fear, and sorrow. I don't love you, she almost whispered, defeated at my overpowering behavior. It's not the same to know that someone does not love you back than actually hearing it directly from that person. Why have I asked her to say such a thing? My black eyes opened wide at her words, looking at her confused, angry, and hurt. I grabbed her neck and face from below with my right hand, almost hurting her. My fingers pushed into her soft cheeks like the claws of a hawk, but I released the force I put in them. This may be the last time you see me like this, but it won't be the last time you hear from me. Go, finally warned her. I don't know exactly what I was going to do, but anyone who had come between us will pay one way or another. I think I've read it by now like 10 times completely, and every time I read it, I can't help but have a huge sense of accomplishment and pride for knowing that I'm the creator, that I'm the one that made this world, that brought these characters into life. I'm very happy. In terms of the experience, I feel like I've been very lucky. Being an unknown author does come with the troubles of trying to sell copies. And for the very little promotion that I gave to this book in my social media that I had, which had very few people following me, I got a good reception to my book. I think I have sold several copies of this one and the sequel, and which I don't remember at this point the number, but for being, like I said, for being an unknown author with not having many works out there to validate the quality of the work, I can understand people being a little hesitant on buying my work. But like I said, having sold some copies of both books, it's like the wind blowing my sails into writing more and creating more stories. Hopefully I'll come back to this channel with more videos. I don't know yet what I'm going to be posting, but stay tuned. I will leave down below in the description the links, the Amazon links to both this, The Twisted Life of Nikolai Isayev, and the sequel, The Atonement of Nikolai Isayev. So if you want to see it, you want to check the link, you can. So thank you.